So yeah, man, when I was looking at one of your videos on TikTok, I saw that you actually had a lot of businesses that you failed in. For example, like drop shipping, you did day trading, and you did Forex, and now you're doing social media marketing, more specifically on Instagram. So like just to provide some context, can you like tell everyone your name and what got you into entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so my name's Josh Ryan, 20-year-old here from New Zealand, and I've always been, I'd say reasonably entrepreneurial. I got into social media, I think I must have been about 15, either 15 or just about 15, and just started a motivational page for fun. It was like cool cars, cool quotes, cool houses, just stuff that I thought was pretty cool at the time, and just did that sort of as a bit of fun. And then I realized there was a business behind it. I messaged someone, asked them if they could repost one of my posts to, grow my page. And that was before I sort of knew what influencer marketing was. And he turned around and said it'd be like $50. And I was like, wait, you guys getting paid for all this stuff? And then from there, I just started learning more and more about it and have evolved from there to doing affiliate marketing, doing a little bit of drop shipping, not much, but a touch of that. And then now running an agency and yeah, still my own pages as well. Although I don't do Forex, I've just called out some scams in the niche.
Mm.
I've sort of stayed away from that.
But did it go in that order where you tried drop shipping first and then you went on to social media or what?
Well, I built some pages. I built pages on Instagram was the first thing that I did. And
Okay.
then from there, I tried like a whole range of different things to monetize it. So I tried like selling shoutouts. I tried doing affiliate marketing. I did like CPA marketing where you're getting leads for people. And then I did drop shipping and I've done all these things, like pretty much everything you can think of to monetize pages, and then sort of focused on the agency side of things.
Okay. And what do you think it was that made you good at social media marketing on Instagram compared to like drop shipping and day trading and things alike?
Um, well, I would say dropshipping is still a lot about social media marketing as well. But I would just say my persistence on social media marketing, I made every mistake I possibly could and eventually found out what worked after just years of trial and error.
Yeah, that definitely going through those experiences will help you. I mean, you can obviously read about them, watch YouTube videos, but there's a bunch of nuances that you have to learn by, failing, messing up, and, you kind of just reiterate and learn from those mistakes. But when you started
Yeah.
your social media page, you said it was for fun, right?
Yeah.
So it was Millionaire Dream. Was that your very first page that you created?
Yeah. I think I might have had like a couple before that, but they weren't like ones that I was trying to grow. They were just random accounts. But yeah, Millionaire Dream was the first one that I started growing.
And what year was that?
I believe it was 2015. I don't
2015.
actually remember exactly. So it would have been, I can actually have a check on my phone, but I believe it was end of 2014 or start of 2015.
Okay. That's when the organic reach on Instagram was still pretty crazy, right?
Yeah. And there were very few people that had quote accounts at that time. So there was even more an advantage because it was just such a blue ocean. There was
Mm-hmm.
very few people doing it.
It's kind of crazy to see or to think about, looking at these pages, for example, meme pages. You can do it for fun. Memes are fun to make, fun to consume. But who would have thought that these meme pages with hundreds of thousands of followers, even million followers, create tons of revenue through shoutouts, selling products and all these sorts of business models that you can do from one meme page. And, you can extend that to other sort of categories and subjects. But when you first started, did you kind of absolutely had no idea on these business models, or did you just learn that these existed along the way?
I mostly learned as I went. Like I'd seen, like I'd always been sort of entrepreneurial. I sort of like, found out a little bit about Bitcoin back like ages ago. I didn't buy anything, but I'd sort of looked at some of that stuff. But when I started Instagram, I'd heard some people were using it to promote businesses and so on, but I didn't really understand anything about it too much. And I just started the page, then found out people were like selling shout outs in this. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I grew it a bit and started selling shout outs. And then I found out people were doing affiliate marketing. So I was like, what's that? And found out about that and just mostly learned as I went. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know you have other pages that you're working on too, and you're growing those pretty fast. And I think in one of your TikTok videos, you're showing the progress of how fast you're growing one of your pages. I think it's called, it's not IG. No, is it Income Notebook, right? That's the one that you kind of showed the process, or is it IG with Josh?
It was IG with Josh. So like a
Yeah.
year ago, I did a challenge of growing an account from 0 to 10K in 30 days. And I put it on YouTube. And then after that, I sold the account. And that's why IG with Josh only has like 8,000 followers now, because I sold the account, kept the username, and now I'm rebuilding it as like my personal brand.
So I think this goes, applies to any other social media platform. Say you want to grow on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. I always believe that your first 1,000 followers or getting some traction initially is extremely difficult, and maybe it makes you want to quit. However, that might be for most people, but after a while, you kind of do gain traction after putting in a lot of time and effort, right? Was that the case for you?
Yeah, 100%. It definitely, like the first few thousand followers probably took me like 2, maybe 3 months. I think can't remember exactly, but it was like a couple months before I'd got to a couple thousand followers. And I think in the first year I had like 300K. So it was very, very exponential. The first few months, not too much. And then when I started learning all the strategies and, taking advantage of that, it just blew up.
And when did you kind of start monetizing it? Of course you can monetize a page with 1,000 followers, but is there kind of a sweet spot where you can kind of start monetizing your page?
So I think I first made my first income at about 20K followers on it. I think I sold a shout out to someone. But again, like when I started, this was like 5 years ago, there was no one on YouTube teaching people how to do it. There was no one, people didn't even really know it was a thing. So I probably could have monetized it way earlier. I think it just depends on how you're going to monetize. Like if you've got a page that's all about, I don't know, how to grow a YouTube channel, and that's what your Instagram's about, you could start making money off that with 200 followers. Because if you're constantly posting tips about how to make YouTube, and then grow a YouTube channel, and then someone DMs you and they want like one-on-one advice, you can, sell them a consulting call for $100. You can start making money from that point. When it comes to running ads, like and promoting ads in your feed, I genuinely like to wait till it's at least sort of 10K followers and is growing organically. But it really depends how you do it.
Yeah. I'm not too familiar with, monetizing Instagram. I know you can have like a shout out, but what other ways are there to monetize your page?
There's a lot of ways that you can do it. I mean, affiliate marketing is probably one of the bigger ones where you're promoting other people's products, earning a commission for it. Drop shipping is a pretty big one. It's not something that I do myself, but it works really well around like passion sort of pages. So like meme pages, things like that, makeup pages, sports pages. You can build like a drop shipping store based around a product that your audience is interested in and promote that. You can sell your knowledge. So if you're really good at something and that's what your page is based around, you can sell consulting, coaching, courses, ebooks, etc. There's a whole range of different things. You can promote local businesses on your account and get paid that way. It really depends a bit on your niche and also if you've got any prior experience.
Cool. Like describe that moment when, you had all these followers, your page is growing, and, people start hitting you up, and the money starts coming in and all these opportunities start to arise from that.
Yeah, I don't know if I really sort of probably realized it at the time, but it was pretty cool. It's definitely very cool starting to make money and start getting paid from my social media accounts. Although it was quite a gradual process, because like I say, there weren't lots of people posting about how to grow or monetize on YouTube back in 2015. It was probably 2 years, maybe even 3 years before I started making like good money from it. Just because I didn't know what I was doing. I was jumping around from one thing to another, without giving one a decent amount of time.
That's so true. Like, you might have like a million ideas and you want to do everything, thinking that you can do everything. But in reality, this is my personal take, that in order to start your other multiple businesses, you kind of have to have one established before you move on to the next one. Because if you're doing everything at once, you're doing essentially nothing, right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I was always growing my pages and that was the one thing I was good at, but it was the monetization aspect that I kept changing. So I'd do drop shipping for a couple months and you're probably not going to succeed in the first couple months of drop shipping. It's probably going to be 3, 4, 5, 6 that you're going to succeed. And so then after 2 months, you're like, oh, I'm not making any money. Then I tried, selling t-shirts and affiliate marketing and all of that. But yeah, giving one thing enough time to go through the mistakes, learn from it, and be able to apply the good stuff that you've learned is definitely the key.
Mm-hmm. When I think of content creators now, maybe creating a meme page, I kind of see someone, going on Canva, which is like a really user-friendly version of Adobe Photoshop or Illustrator, and
Yeah.
creating content one after the other, 8-10 posts a day, and hoping that their page just grows. I don't know if Canva was popular or the go-to tool to make content on Instagram, but if it wasn't, what did you use or how did you make content and what did your day look like?
So I don't even know if Canva was around in 2015. I used a software called Fonto, which is just an iPhone app where you could basically just put text on images. Canva is like 100 times better than that. Like if people looked at my old content on Millionaire Dream, it's definitely not Flash. It would just be like images of celebrities or sports stars or nature and so on. Then you just slightly darken it and add a quote over the top. Like it was nothing fancy, but that was what I first started using. And I would sort of batch my content. So maybe like every Sunday I'd sit down for a few hours and just make a ton of quotes, go out there and just spend 30 minutes finding a bunch of cool photos I could use, and then spend a couple hours just putting quotes over the top of them. I just search for 100 best motivational quotes on Google or something, and then just chuck them onto images. And I was sort of posting 3 to 5 times a day, I think, when I was growing the most, and just going hard with that. Also like repurposing other people's content. So like promoting each other. So you might post a couple of their quotes each day and they post a couple of yours, and everyone starts growing together.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, the way I think about it now, or at least back in 2014, 2015 with Instagram, all you have to do, because you had your own blue ocean, all you have to do was just literally post as much as possible. And of course, have hashtags. Now, in today's Instagram kind of a world, the organic reach is declined. And I do see, like in forums, YouTube videos, that in order to grow an Instagram page, obviously you want to have as much content as possible, have a bunch of hashtags. And the way I think of it objectively is, okay, if you have, say, 1,000 pieces of content every year, every year you post 1,000 pieces of, good content and have a bunch of hashtags, do you think with that alone, you're going to gain, say, 10,000 followers?
The key word there would be good. As long as the content is good, if you're doing that, then you definitely can. If you're just spamming, like reposting random stuff, and it's not really of any value to anyone, then you probably won't grow too much. On the other hand, if you're posting 3 times a day and the quality is really good, you can explode. And I think a lot of it also comes down to having valuable stuff. So make sure there's actual value to your followers that you're posting. And secondly, try and find a way to be somewhat unique with what you're doing. If you're like, there's already at least probably 100,000 travel pages on Instagram. If you're just going to start a travel page and just repost the same things, it's going to be reasonably hard to get started. Whereas if you can find a way to put your own unique spin on it, then you can blow it up. And that's same with any niche, like the motivational quotes niche. There's already like so many of those pages doing it. But if you can add your own spin on it, you can definitely create your own sort of audience of loyal fans.
And what are some golden nuggets that are really essential in trying to grow your social media, your Instagram? Is it, do you make sure that you have a call to action in each of your posts? Do you make sure that you kind of make it somewhat viral, or have, I don't know, like, do you have like not a formula per se, but, essential guidelines that you think that in 2020 that anyone can grow an Instagram page successfully?
I don't know if I've got a set of guidelines as such, but probably the best thing is looking at your analytics a lot and just understanding what does well. So if you're posting 3 times a day, after a month, that's like 100 pieces of content. Look at like what's the top 10% of content and what is similar about that content. So maybe the top 10 posts were all quotes from a certain person if you're running a motivational page. And then so you need to do more of that. Or maybe they were all video, and then you realize that video does better on your page, and really dialing in on what's working well for your account, and then just doing more of that, and then looking at what's performing bad, and then you can cut that out of it. The other thing I would say is really important is reinvesting into your account. So this is something I definitely didn't do at the start, but as soon as you start making money from it, regardless of what way you're making money from it, put a decent percentage of that, maybe half of it, back into growing your account. So paying for Facebook ads or paying for influencers to promote your account or things like that to keep the ball rolling and keep the momentum going.
Or is it important, do you think, like to really scale it up, hire freelancers, content creators to make the post for you? You think that's a good idea too?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I have done in the past. I always outsource all my content now because I can outsource. Yeah. I mean, the content creators can make content so much faster than me. They can probably make content 4 or 5 times as fast as me, and it's way higher quality. And so like for, a few dollars a day, you can outsource your content pretty easily, and have great stuff there to post.
Mm-hmm. Everyone says you have to pay to play nowadays on Instagram. How true is that? And if it's true, how much are we talking? Do you say like 80% of your activity on Instagram has to be paid advertisements, Facebook ads, or or is it kind of flipped? I don't know what the numbers look like, but what do you think is the best?
I don't think you have to, you can definitely build an audience without paying for it. You could definitely do it through creative content strategy and, all the stuff that a lot of people know, like hashtags and cross promotion and all of the stuff here. It depends how much time you want to put into it. So you can spend, if you're growing a personal brand, you can spend a couple hours a day on Instagram just engaging in the comment section with people and other people's posts. I think Gary Vee talks about it a lot, the $1.80 strategy. You can go out and do that a couple hours a day, and you're going to grow your audience, and you're going to get really targeted, engaged followers, and it's all going to be free, but you're spending 2 hours a day doing it. On the other hand, if you want to invest 10 minutes a day into just publishing content, then chances are, you're going to want to spend a bit of money on, $5, $10 a day, promoting your account through stories, through shout outs, through different avenues like that. So, I mean, you either have to invest your time or money, or both if you want to grow even faster.
Yeah. And for every 10 posts, you do kind of have, for example, for every 10 posts, you had one sponsored post, one shout out. So you do motivational quotes, or do you go to like another entrepreneurship sort of theme page or page in general and ask them for a shout out for every 10 posts that you put on your page? Like, do you kind of have some sort of thing like that?
Every 10 paid promotions that I did, I would pay for one for someone else, you mean? Or
like for every 10 posts that you've created on your own, one of them would be a sponsored post. So you kind of hit out or, talk to an influencer to kind of shout out your page.
So I was doing about 15 to 20% of my content would be paid promotions.
Okay.
If that's what you're meaning. So about I would sort of do 5 pieces of content a day and then one paid promotion on top of that. And I was trying to make the paid promotions as congruent as possible. So it might be like an entrepreneur that's doing like a motivational video and trying to grow their audience. So they would pay me to post that. And it would still be of value to my audience, but it's also going to grow their audience, and they're going to be paying for that spot on my account.
For sure. Something that kind of concerns me, I mean, maybe it's not a huge concern, but with Instagram, I'm not going to say it's dying, but the organic reach is declining. I do feel that maybe the revenue streams can decrease. I might be wrong on this, but do you kind of have a way or a strategy to fall back to another social media platform or business model in case Instagram goes down?
I think Instagram is too well run to die out, like the platform itself. I think love him or hate him, like Mark Zuckerberg is an incredible entrepreneur that whilst he might do some shady things, and they might do some very interesting, questionable things, he's very good at running a business. And I can't see anyone killing them off in the near future. So as long as you know how to monetize an account, and even if the organic growth isn't gone as much, if you can help someone monetize their account and then be able to reinvest that into ads and get a positive ROI on those ads, Like, it is becoming more pay to play and less organic, but if you can learn how to, do the non-organic stuff, the paid ads and so forth, there's always going to be a space for you. But with other social media platforms, I have been posting a lot on YouTube recently, building that up. I think TikTok's all right. I think it's a great place to get free organic, massively organic viral reach. But I've been putting a lot of time into YouTube recently, which has been my other social media platform that I'm going, and then building up an email list, which you own.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so now you've established Millionaire Dream, your Instagram page, and from there, you created your own agency, right? Your social media marketing agency, right?
Yeah.
When did you think was the right time to do that? Like, what kind of made you shift your mindset into starting that service?
I think I just started noticing a lot of people were asking for me to grow their accounts for them, because at that point, I think I started my agency. It must have been start of 2018. I started the agency side of things just as I'd finished high school. So I finished high school end of 2017, then started the agency start of 2018. And it was mostly just from a lot of people reaching out to me. I'd already built up a solid network of people, and I had a few different entrepreneurs reaching out, wanting me to grow their accounts for them. And so it was quite a natural progression, just of using my skills of growing Instagram pages in the business motivation sort of niche, and then being able to apply that to clients who are trying to do the same thing.
Okay. I feel that transition, as easy as it sounds, can be very tough because, now you're creating pages or helping people grow their pages and growing your page, Millionaire Dream on Instagram. But now you can have to create a package around that service, right? You have to create a website, learn how to get clients, I guess, learn how to make the business work. It's a different business model. How long did it take you to get kind of comfortable with running your business and knowing how to run it?
Um, it probably took a lot less time than many would expect, because I'd already spent 2 years of getting good at the skill that I was offering, which is the main part of it. So I'd already spent 2 years, or maybe 3 years actually at the time, growing Instagram accounts and doing what I was then going to offer for clients. So I already knew the service in and out. I didn't actually use a website straight away. I just did it all through cold DM and word of mouth, just through getting results. So it was actually probably only took a couple months really to start getting good results with the agency, because I'd already built up a network of people that would be interested in my service and that trusted me. And I'd already built up my skill set that I was offering the 3 years or so prior. So I think, yeah, it only took about a month or so to start getting good results with that and seeing a good income, because yeah, once you've got the service nailed and you've got a bunch of warm leads, it makes it pretty easy to start with.
Mm-hmm. So at this point, did you have two sources of income, one coming directly from your Instagram page and now from the service?
Yeah, so that was probably the main two, although they sort of intertwined, because I was using the Millionaire Dream and my other pages at the time to grow clients and so forth.
Okay, so you leveraged Millionaire Dream to actually help clients build their own respective pages.
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. So we'd make content for clients that we knew would do well and that would grow their audience, and then to give them a bit of a boost, we'd often promote them through my accounts and so forth.
But how would that work? Say I have a cooking theme page, and it's very different from your sort of motivational entrepreneurial Instagram page. So would you kind of still promote that, even though they're completely different things, or what?
We mostly just stuck to one niche, which was mostly coaches and entrepreneurs who are trying to build their personal brand. A lot of sort of like motivational speakers, podcasters.
Oh, I see now.
All within that niche. So it was all relevant to our account, which made it a lot easier to deliver good results, and also because we could promote them on our accounts.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I thought you were more of a general sort of agency, but no, you kind of focus on one specific niche.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, now make it more easy, because if you want to go out to other topics, maybe it wouldn't make sense from going into an entrepreneur page and directly promoting that. However, because the strategies, you can maybe have another route or another way of teaching them how to grow their page. But aside from actually promoting their pages directly, what other ways do you teach them or help them grow their respective accounts?
Mostly content. Content is always like the number one thing, and fixing up their content so they're posting good good pieces that were actually going to get results for them on Instagram, get them better engagement, get them more shares, more people, reposting their stuff and growing their audience like organically through that. And then the promotion through our account was just like a nice add-on to help, boost
Mhm.
up the numbers, because most of them already had 5, 10, 20K followers. And so it's just a matter of fixing their content so they grew faster organically, and then giving them a bit of a boost through our own accounts.
So say I'm a client, right? And I'm like, hey Josh, I want to grow my page. What are the steps that you take? Is there like a specific 8-week program? Do you wait until you reach a benchmark, until 10K followers, or how does that kind of work?
So the process for us is I've just had a PDF which basically explained all of the different services that we offered at the time. And then we'd send that to clients, and they would, let us know what they're interested in. And then from there, we could go from there. So some clients might only want consulting, which might just be get on the phone for an hour. We give them a bunch of tips, tricks, strategies. They can then go and implement that. Some clients wanted us to just do content for them. So we just went about, just made them content, sent it over, etc. Some of them wanted us to do content and promote them and so forth and manage their accounts. So it just really depended what they were
Mhm.
interested in.
And is it only you working on this, or do you have a team around you?
I've got like contractors that help with different things, but not like a full-time employee or anything like that. So I've got people that create content for me. And if clients want content, then we use them as well. And then so forth. Like I've got a editor who does my YouTube videos, and so on. But I don't have like a assistant or anyone like that that's like full-time.
Okay. But say if you have too many clients, you always hire an extra contractor to reaccommodate the potential client that you're going to get, right?
Yeah, yeah. But I've never really wanted to scale my agency to crazy numbers anyway,
Okay.
just because of the logistical nightmare that it
Okay.
becomes. So I've been pretty happy having my agency at sort of a handful up to sort of like 10 clients at a time. And then I'm at the moment focusing more on scaling other things.
Okay. Let's talk about those other things. What other projects do you wish to work on or working now that you wish to scale?
Right now, I'm putting a lot of effort into building my personal brand on YouTube, which is mostly just teaching people Instagram, and other social media tips and tricks and strategies as well. So that's probably the main thing that I see as a long-term play, scaling that and then building up the email list alongside it to help people with that. And that's getting me a lot of consulting gigs, and it's got me a couple clients and so forth. And when I put more effort into monetizing that, it'll be a decent wee income on the side too, which can scale pretty easily, because you can put out the same amount of videos for 5 years, and in the first year you might make $100, and the second year you might make 10 grand, and the third year it might be 100 grand, and like you're putting out the same amount of videos at the same night per year.
Wait, so one sec. So you want to grow your personal brand, and through that you get more clientele. But then again, you don't want to scale your agency because you're happy as it is. But you could scale your YouTube because of that, and maybe if you're interested, do public speaking. I think people who
Yeah,
utilize and know,
exactly.
yeah, yeah. Is that something that you like to do?
Yeah, I've done a little bit of it, not too much, because I've never really built out a solid personal brand too much, which is like the main thing for public speaking, is having a strong that. But now that I've building up my YouTube, it's actually going pretty well. We're at about to hit, I think just hit 13,000 or so subs yesterday, a few days
Yeah.
ago. But I'll keep building that out, and when the pandemic and all of that's gone and so forth, can hopefully get into doing a bit more of that.
So you actually went to like physical conferences and spoken to a few of those?
Yeah, I've done like two like locally just in my city, which were just like weren't like conferences. They were just sort of come along, and I'll teach you how to use social media for your local business. And then I did an event in Bali where I spoke at a like affiliate marketing summit, and just taught them how to use Instagram.
Oh, you went to Bali?
Yeah.
They hit you up, or was it kind of something that you there like for like as a digital nomad, and then you kind of encountered this event conference and you went and spoke in it?
Um, no, I knew the people that were running the event. Like it was an event. I knew
Oh,
it was an
okay.
event for a company, like a company that taught affiliate marketing. And I knew the owners, and I was in Europe actually traveling. They hit me up just before I went to Europe. And I went and spent a couple months in Europe. And then on the way back, I stopped over in Bali for I think about 10 days or so and spoke at an event for, I think it was about 3 or 4 day event, and then just sort of chilled there for a bit after.
How was Bali? Is it nice?
Yeah, I loved it. It's a great place. Good weather, pretty warm, good people, good digital nomad scene.
Did it make you want to stay?
It was probably the wrong time for me to be there for wanting to stay, because I'd just spent like 2 months traveling all over Europe and I was pretty tired at that point. But I would definitely go back there for sure.
Like, do you kind of travel often? Like, say you have a successful campaign, things are going very well. Do you kind of have you take a couple of weeks off, maybe a month off of the year to kind of reboot?
Um, I've been to the US a few times for conferences. I probably need to get more in the habit of taking a couple weeks off, each year and just, chilling out. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. But yeah, I spent 2 months in Europe in 2018, end of 2018, and then 2018, 2019, and 2020 went to the US for a conference, Funnel Hacking Live, from Russell Brunson. But aside from that, haven't done too much else. Definitely once everything's opening up again, though, I'm going to be spending a bit more time traveling and so forth.
Yeah, I think that's a cool concept, just traveling the world. Like I said, I'm a huge football fan, and it'll be really
Yeah,
cool just like traveling Europe, watching all the big teams play. Obviously not now because you can't go to any of the games. There's no fans allowed in the stadiums. But I always thought that's a
yeah,
cool concept to, go to London, go to Paris, watch PSG, watch Bayern Munich. I think that's a cool experience.
yeah. It's pretty awesome. I got to go to a few games when I was over there. I went to a game. I've watched Frankfurt play in the Europa League. They played Lazio, and that was an incredible experience. Those guys are the craziest fans I've ever seen in Frankfurt. They were awesome. I saw Hertha Berlin versus Freiburg, and then Barcelona play, which was pretty incredible because I'm a Barca fan. So got to see Messi play.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Barcelona, they're such a good team, but now they're kind of aging, and I think a lot of players
Yeah,
are kind of leaving. So it's it's a very weird situation because you kind of see them as this dominant team, but now you're kind of seeing them as, oh damn, like what's going on here? Like I don't think players would want to go there anymore. A prime example is like Aubameyang, who stayed at Arsenal and he got offered to go to Barcelona. Who wouldn't go to Barcelona? But if the
yeah,
best player in the world doesn't want to be there and is probably going to leave next year, and the president is like, well, supposedly people say he's really bad. The whole infrastructure is bad. I guess who's going to go to want to go to a club like that? But
yeah. I just think it's a
nevertheless,
short-term
oh
mindset of the
yeah,
management.
oh yeah.
But yeah, hopefully it gets fixed soon.
Nah, but yeah, Barcelona, they're an incredible team. What they've done in the past 10 years, and I think like going to the Camp Nou in general must be a crazy, crazy experience.
Yeah, it was incredible. Such a cool stadium. Got to do the stadium tour and all that, go through it, and watch them play. It's a massive stadium though,
Like a hundred
absolutely
ten thousand.
huge.
I think they're renovating it too. Like 110K people can actually attend the
Yeah,
games.
I think it's currently about 100K. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, that'll be so dope to watch Barcelona play. Where else in Europe did you go to though?
I went all over the place. I landed in London, spent like a day in Paris, Brussels, and then pretty much through all of the south of Germany, and then into like Vienna, Prague, Berlin, Frankfurt, Barcelona, back to London, and then Bali on the way home.
Hmm.
It was pretty awesome.
Out of curiosity, is there a huge entrepreneurial community in New Zealand where you live?
Not really. There's like, I mean, social media in general, there's very few, but I would say we've got what I guess, I don't know if you've got the term in America, but like tall poppy syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
It's sort of like the idea that as soon as a poppy, a flower, like gets above like all the others, like the others around it try to chop it down to sort of bring it back to the same level.
Oh, really?
And that's quite a big thing in Australia and New Zealand. So a lot of people keep reasonably quiet about things. So it's often quite hard to find people who are doing well because they're often don't have a big personal brand. They're not out there talking about themselves doing it. They're sort of just getting shit done behind the scenes. So it is quite hard to find other entrepreneurs. But I mean, I do know a handful that are doing pretty awesome over here. But yeah, it's reasonably hard to find.
But in terms, because like I said, I haven't really traveled the world like that. And I get the notion that, oh, entrepreneurship can only be done in the US, but no, there's entrepreneurs all over the world. But is it harder to kind of have a startup or start a business in New Zealand compared, I don't know, to other countries?
Like if we're talking specifically like social media marketing style, it's definitely easiest in the US, like by a long shot. Just because I don't think a lot of the New Zealand small business owners are quite yet cottoned on to the power of social media. So you sort of have to sell them on the idea of social media and then sell them on yourself. Whereas I feel like most people in the US are aware of the power of social media. So you just have to sell them that you're the right person for the job. But as far as starting a business goes and so on, I'm pretty sure New Zealand like smashes the #1 spot for everything for ease of business. I think we're the best place in the world or the easiest place in the world to start a business. Like when it comes to legalities that you have to go through, when it comes to getting permits for construction, like all of that stuff, I'm pretty sure New Zealand's #1 in the world, which is good. We've got a lot of great innovation here.
For sure. And I think you're right. If you create like an online business, if you don't need a physical infrastructure, then it can be relatively easy just to create an online service anywhere you want in the world.
Yeah.
Because nowadays
It just comes down to
the
legalities for some people. But yeah, if you're working with local businesses for like social media marketing, then New Zealand's probably reasonably hard, or harder than other places like the US, UK. But like aside from that, it's a pretty great place to do business.
Mm-hmm. What does your day kind of look like?
I get up like 7 a.m. or so, pretty much, have a coffee, chill out, bike into the office. I work out of a co-working spot because I don't like working from home. I feel like you get more done when you have a separate space for it. Head in there, work pretty much from 8:30 or so till, depending on the day, because I've got a lot of stuff often on in the evenings, anywhere from 4 to 5:30 I sort of finish, and then head home. I've pretty much got sports every afternoon, evening sort of time, and then dinner, and often get another hour or two work in the evenings, and then just relax for an hour or so, read or watch YouTube or something like that. Plan the next day as well. I like to write down what I need to get done the next day.
Do you kind of have like a notebook to kind of tell you what your plans are, your schedule, your tasks?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of these simple, like just 50-cent notebooks. I don't know what they're actually called. 3B ones. It's the name. Bunch of those that just like normal paper in them. Just like not anything special. You can just write the day and then write what I need to get done, and then keep it simple, keep it easy.
Yeah, there's something about writing, like, pen to paper compared to like, typing things on a keyboard. When you write something down, I feel like the information kind of just solidifies in your mind,
Yeah,
so
I
weird.
definitely agree. I'm not sure what it is. I haven't looked into it, but it definitely helps.
Because like for school, like I said this many times before in other episodes, but for presentations, I had to make sure I wrote every single slide down to kind of memorize what I'm going to present, because if not, then I would have been screwed. And it was just a way for the information to really be solidified in my mind and be totally prepared for the interview or presentation, whatever it is. But to provide a context, you never went to university?
No. I mean, I got good grades in school. I could definitely get into university here pretty easily, but I just decided when I finished school, I'd give social media a shot, go hard with it, see what I could do. If it all falls on its head, I can always go do something else if I want. But so far it's been going well. So I'm just going to keep at it and see where things go.
Well, so how long has your entire like entrepreneurial journey been? Like, starting with Millionaire Dream, IG with Josh, your social media marketing agency, like how many years of was that?
Probably close to 6 years that I've been doing social media. Only
Okay.
like full time for like just about 3.
Okay.
Probably like 2.5 full time.
hmm When one might say like, oh yeah, 6 years of experience, you have it noted down, you're set, you know everything. But with social media, there's so many things changing. It's very dynamic. So for
Yeah.
example, with Instagram, you know, Snapchat had the stories. Now Instagram integrated that. Now you have Reels. You have all these new components in social media that it's probably really important to utilize to grow your audience, provide new forms of content so people can be either entertained or learn something in a different format. How important has that been? You know, learning, I guess, keeping up with the dynamics of social media.
Yeah, I mean, that's massively important. Just constantly adapting to the new changes, the new features, the new marketing techniques that people are using is huge.
Yeah, I think I personally didn't use Snapchat like that, but when the Snapchat sort of feature came to Instagram, I definitely utilized that, and I think it's very important. I guess a small tactic that I thought that was pretty neat that I've learned on YouTube was that, you know, if you kind of keep your IG stories as recent as possible, it'll be like the first bubble that kind of appears in people's minds, and you want to
Yeah.
be in people's minds as much as possible. Subconsciously, they're going to remember you and be, I guess, kind of happy to see you the more they're reminded about you, as cheesy as it
Yeah.
sounds.
100%. Those constant stories is definitely good.
hmm
Pushes you to the front.
Have you been incorporating like a lot of reels?
I've started using them a little bit, but I probably should be using them more. It's worked quite well on my IG with Josh account where I've been giving like Instagram tips and stuff like that. Reels has been pretty helpful there. I haven't utilized them enough on other theme pages and so on, but I
hmm
definitely do need to get into that.
Yeah, and I know you mentioned that on TikTok, the organic reach is crazy. But if you're working on TikTok, your other businesses, and your YouTube, and I know YouTube in of itself takes a while to, you know, make the content, like record everything, have the setup, depending on how good the quality is, and then eventually edit it. It's more of a process compared to TikTok because, you know, TikTok is the platform that you record on and edit on. It's very streamlined. Um, so in that note, do you kind of prioritize, you know, growing your TikTok to growing your YouTube, growing to other social media platforms? Like what things do you prioritize, I guess?
Why, yeah, I don't really put any effort into TikTok now. Like, I think it was actually surprising that you hit me up recently and that you'd found me on TikTok because I haven't
Yeah.
posted on there. I mean, I think I've like reposted a couple of reels there, but aside from that, it's been months and months and months
hmm
since I've done anything there. But I'm at the moment just focused on YouTube and Instagram, and everything else has sort of been left to the wayside. So I used to post a bit on Facebook and do that, but haven't done that. And all that I do on TikTok now is just repost my reels from Instagram when I do them. And that's about it, honestly. I just put my time into Instagram and YouTube because they're the two main ones that I'm building. Then as things start growing, I might, hire someone that can post on TikTok consistently for me and repurpose some stuff for Facebook. But yeah, I'm just focused on YouTube and Instagram currently. They're the main two for me that are
Yeah.
working.
Out of curiosity, have you ever thought of kind of expanding Millionaire Dream? Because it's an entrepreneurship sort of page, and I think you can do like a lot with it. I think there's so much opportunity that you can do with that page too. You know, maybe create your own podcast, sell products, I guess increase the brand, or you know, I think. Have you thought of like other ways of expanding it, or you just want to keep it as an Instagram page?
I have looked at that and I've done a bit of that in the past. I was sort of doing like t-shirts and stuff like that, but I never really went full on. Outside of that, I will probably put more effort into scaling my personal brand, like teaching Instagram. And I can scale that out more as I feel there's a bit more longevity. And I think when it's tied to a name, it's a lot more profitable than when it's tied to a like a theme page. I think if people have a relationship with me as the host of the YouTube channel, and if I turn that into a podcast, and if I have it on Instagram, I think there's going to be a much stronger connection than if it's just with a theme page. Unless, of course, you can get like a really well branded theme page. Like, I don't know if you've seen the account Mentality.
Yeah.
They've done something similar. They've got like they post a lot of motivational quotes, and then they've got like merch and so forth, but they've done their branding really well, which if I'd probably put more effort into, probably could have done well with. But my focus more has been recently on building up my personal brand, like teaching and so forth.
And do you kind of apply the same concepts where you reach out to maybe other influencers to give you a shout out? Of course, you can leverage your own page, Millionaire Dreams. But do you still kind of go to other influencers, other pages, and use Facebook ads to kind of increase your engagement and following?
Yeah, definitely. I haven't done too much of that recently on my personal one because I've had a lot of other stuff going on behind the scenes. But I've done a few promotions from Millionaire Dream. I've ran a few ads on it, spent 50 to $100 on it. But I will, when I'm ready to start like really getting behind it, I will definitely be spending more on Facebook ads and paying for other people to promote it. It's just about finding the right accounts because nowadays it's quite hard to find good accounts to run promotions on, just because of the fact so many accounts are just filling themselves up with like engagement groups, which makes it really hard to find the accounts that are getting authentic engagement, really, which is going to convert into followers, leads, customers, etc. for you.
I did hear like in a podcast, someone said if you want to grow your personal brand, it's essential to use Facebook ads, at least $5, $5 a day on your personal brand with Facebook ads.
It definitely helps. I'm not going to say it doesn't. It's a very helpful thing. If you can afford to put $5 a day into Facebook ads, definitely would recommend for a personal brand doing it. The only way, I don't like saying the only way, but the main way that you're going to grow organically with a personal brand is just making your content so amazing that like it just jumps out at people. So getting really great design, good videos if you're doing videos, make your reels as good as possible. And if you're making them really high quality, you'll grow organically. But $5 a day behind your Facebook ads to grow your account is definitely recommended. And it's pretty easy to make an ROI. Like if you coach people on, I myself in a Instagram tips. If I'm spending $5 a day on Facebook ads, that's $150 a month. If I can sell one person on consulting out of like that entire month, then I paid for it. Like I've got an ROI. So yeah, it's pretty much always worth it if you've got a good monetization plan.
Do you think that you're decent or really good at Facebook ads? I think it's definitely an art to master Facebook ads.
I'm not great at Facebook ads. I think I'm good at creating an Instagram profile that converts eyeballs into followers. And I think I'm good at turning those followers into a customer. But when it comes to the specifics of the Facebook ads, it's not my expertise. But it's made up for in the fact that when people do land on my profile, when they do find my ads, they turn into followers pretty easily. Just because of my Instagram skills. But Facebook ads is definitely something I'm trying to get better at.
Yeah.
Just for myself, not necessarily for clients.
No, I think you bring up a good point. That even though you can have bad Facebook ads, the other end of it has to be spot on. If you use the Facebook ad and you want to convert it into a paying customer, then that other end of it, either the Instagram page or the actual website, has to be done in a professional, or I guess good content has to be behind that. A good Facebook ad doesn't really do everything unless you're doing ClickFunnels, I guess.
Yeah, I think if you're like promoting, if you're just trying to sell on Facebook ads, I think it is more important to be good at Facebook ads if you're selling something. Like if you're doing drop shipping or if you're running ads for local businesses, it is important to be good at running the ads itself. But if you're just trying to get awareness to your profile and just grow your audience on a page where you're giving out content that is engaging, the main thing, because it's pretty easy to go into Facebook and say, hey, I want to target 20 to 50-year-olds who are interested in social media marketing that live in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. It's very, very simple to do that and get a nice graphic up. The main part in that is having a profile that converts. A bit different if you're trying to sell like something on drop shipping. You need a lot more skill to do that. Yeah.
You've tried, incorporating another stream of passive income through an IG course, right?
Yeah.
What happened? Like, did it not go well initially, or is it something that you're trying to still rebuild?
So I had like a big Instagram course like years ago, but I didn't really know most of the other people selling courses were doing it in a very unethical way, and they were sort of like flaunting all the money and the cars and or a lot of like fake lifestyle bull stuff, like just unethical things that I didn't feel comfortable with doing and didn't want to do. And so I sort of stopped selling that course. It was sort of sat there, but I knew that I couldn't compete with their marketing because they were just pretty much lying to people.
Yeah.
And then recently, as my YouTube channel has been growing, I've had a lot of people wanting more in-depth information. So I put together a course for like $9, which, go through, teaches people Instagram. And because I've built up a personal brand that is people trust, then you can sell it by being honest with people and just selling it the right way, I feel, because you've already got that trust. I am working on a more in-depth one for business owners, but yeah, that'll come later.
No, I think that's a good point because nowadays, unfortunately, if you're very authentic, so many people are putting out courses, and it's become kind of diluted because you have a lot of fake entrepreneurs selling these courses, and the people who are very honest about it, who are trying to sell their courses, it kind of becomes to a point where consumers or aspiring entrepreneurs don't know who to trust. But if you have someone who has their own personal brand, has a lot of engagement and followers on both, like say TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, across all these social media platforms, that really solidifies that this person is a trustworthy person, has a personal brand, and is worth buying from or consuming their information. It's just really hard for an actual aspiring entrepreneur to get content that they can really believe in or spend their hardworking money on.
I totally agree. Like if you've got a very honest marketer versus a not so honest marketer that is just got no ethics, when it comes to running paid ads, the not so honest one is going to win like every time, and it's going to be very, very hard. But the other way around is if you're just an honest, genuine person, you can still sell a lot of courses. You just have to build trust, which comes through building up a personal brand. Like, I don't know if you know of Beer Heza.
Yeah.
Like he's got a course for 300 US or something, 400 US dollars. And he does very little promotion for it. I don't even know if he mentions it in his videos, and he's probably selling like, I don't know, 50 to 100K worth of it every month. Just because he's built up so much trust and people trust him. So they'll buy without him sitting there like, hey, if you buy my course in 30 days, you're going to have a Lamborghini. He can be honest and upfront with people. And I think that's the best way to do it. You build a personal brand of people who trust you, and then you can sell it pretty easily. And then if you want to run paid ads, you can show off the results of people in your course because you were able to get a bunch of people in it.
No, yeah, definitely. When I watch his videos, he seems like a very laid back, humble guy that you can really trust. And because of that, for anyone who's watching him or who has consumed his content, they can be more willing to pay for his courses and services because they've trusted him for such a long time. And he does seem that type of guy that's so nice.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I've been watching him for a long time.
For sure. So yeah, Josh, I don't want to take too much of your time. So if people want to hit you up, find you, learn how to grow on Instagram, where can they hit you up or check you out?
Yeah, if you want to just learn Instagram, I would say my YouTube channel is probably the best place to go to, which is just put my name into YouTube, Josh Ryan. If you want to reach out to me, then DM on Instagram is probably the best way, which is just Josh Ryan on Instagram. Keeps it pretty simple. And from there, you can get my email and so forth. And yeah, Instagram's probably the best place to reach me.
Cool. So yeah, I'll add that to the show notes. If anyone wants to click on our social, they can just check you out. All right, Josh.
Awesome. Cheers for having me.
For sure, man. It was a pleasure.